Ladies and gentlemen, beloved friends in faith, BBR, today I want to speak to you about something powerful, something life-changing. The moment you realize it, it can transform your perspective, your purpose, and your destiny. That moment is when you recognize the sign that you're stepping into a higher calling. BR, many of us live our lives thinking that the challenges, the delays, the struggles, and even the blessings are random. We measure success by worldly standards, promotion, recognition, comfort. But God, in His infinite wisdom, doesn't call us according to the world's timeline. He calls us according to His purpose, according to His plan, and according to the destiny He has prepared for us. BR, when we talk about the first sign that you are stepping into a higher calling, we are referring to the subtle yet unmistakable stirring in your spirit that begins to awaken long before anything tangible appears in your life. This is not something you can force or manufacture. It is an internal sensation, a gentle but persistent nudge from God, a whisper of destiny that tells you that your current life, your current circumstances, and even your present achievements are not the ultimate measure of your purpose. Many people go through life operating on autopilot, content with what they see and what they have, but those who are called to a higher purpose begin to feel an inner unrest. It is an almost unexplainable dissatisfaction, a sense that there is something more significant that they are meant to do, something far beyond the ordinary. This stirring is like the first spark of fire in a dark room. It quietly illuminates what could be and draws you toward what will be. This inner stirring is often subtle and gradual. It may begin as a small sense of discontent in your current job, relationship, or routine. You may feel that your work, though adequate, is not fully utilizing your talents, that your life, though comfortable, is not fully aligned with your passions or your potential. This feeling can be confusing because it comes with no immediate explanation. Many dismiss it as mere restlessness or impatience, but in reality, it is a divine signal that your spirit is awakening to a larger assignment. The key is to recognize it, listen to it, and not suppress it with distractions or excuses. When you pay attention to this stirring, you begin to notice patterns in your thoughts, dreams, and desires that are directing you toward your higher calling, BR. Often, this stirring also comes with a heightened sense of awareness of your surroundings and opportunities. You begin to notice doors opening that you previously overlooked, relationships that seem more meaningful, and a pull toward learning, growing, and serving in ways that you never considered before. There is an intuitive sense that certain paths, experiences, and challenges are not random. They are placed in your life deliberately to prepare you for what is next. BR. At this stage, prayer, reflect, and listening become essential. By tuning into your spirit, you learn to distinguish between fleeting desires and the deeper God-given prompts that guide you toward your destiny. This discernment is critical because not every feeling of restlessness is a call to a higher purpose. Some are merely distractions or tests of patience. The stirring in your spirit also comes with a sense of expectancy. It is not a vague hope or wishful thinking. It is a confident awareness that something greater lies ahead. It inspires you to start making small adjustments in your life, changes in mindset, habits, and relationships that gradually align you with the calling that is emerging. For example, you may feel compelled to invest more time in spiritual growth, mentorship, or service to others. You may sense that your gifts and talents need refinement and that your influence should be expanded beyond personal ambitions to serve a broader purpose. These changes, though often subtle, signal that you are beginning to walk in alignment with God's plan for your life. It is also important to note that this stirring is accompanied by both excitement and a certain level of fear or uncertainty. Stepping into a higher calling is not without risk, and the awareness of a greater purpose can feel daunting. Yet, this fear is part of the process. It is evidence that you are moving out of comfort and into faith. The stirring urges you to move forward despite doubts, to trust the invisible hand guiding you, and to embrace growth even when the outcome is not yet clear. Those who ignore this stirring often remain in a state of mediocrity, never experiencing the fullness of their potential or the impact they were created to make. BR. Finally, the stirring in your spirit is a call to action. It is not passive. it demands a response. You may start by praying more earnestly, seeking counsel, or taking deliberate steps to expand your knowledge and influence. You may feel drawn to take risks, to step out of familiar routines, and to embrace opportunities that stretch you beyond what you thought possible. Every great leader, every person who has stepped into a higher calling, experienced this initial stirring. They recognized it, embraced it, and allowed it to guide them into a life of purpose that leaves a lasting impact. In summary, the first sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is this stirring in your spirit, a quiet but powerful sense that your life is destined for more. It is a call to awaken, to listen, and to respond with faith, courage, and intentional action. It is the signal that your current circumstances are preparing you for a greater role, and that the journey ahead, though uncertain, is designed to fulfill a divine purpose that only you can fulfill. Recognizing and embracing this stirring is the first step toward walking boldly into the higher calling that God has prepared for you. The second sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is the stretching of your faith. This is one of the most powerful indicators that God is preparing you for something far beyond your current understanding or comfort. Faith stretching is not about punishment or hardship for the sake of suffering. Rather, it is a divine process of preparation. God uses circumstances, challenges, and even delays to expand your capacity to handle greater responsibility, to deepen your spiritual maturity, and to equip you for the significant role He has designed for your life. When you notice that your faith is being stretched, it is a clear signal that you are moving into a higher realm of purpose. Faith stretching begins in ways that are often subtle, almost imperceptible at first. You may notice situations arising that require you to trust God more deeply than before. Perhaps opportunities present themselves that seem beyond your skills or resources. You may face decisions where the natural path is tempting, but the Spirit nudges you to trust in God's provision, timing, and wisdom instead. These are deliberate moments designed to reveal the depth of your faith and to push you beyond relying on what is seen into trusting what is unseen. The stretching of faith is a process that enlarges your spiritual capacity, preparing you to handle greater influence and responsibility without being overwhelmed by fear or doubt. One of the most important aspects of faith stretching is that it often manifests through delays and obstacles. Life may seem to slow down or test you at critical moments. Doors that you expected to open may remain shut, and circumstances may appear to contradict the promises you sense in your heart. At first glance, these delays can feel discouraging, even unfair. Yet this is precisely the point. God is refining your patience, strengthening your perseverance, and teaching you to lean entirely on Him rather than on immediate results. The stretching is intentional. It is shaping your character and developing resilience so that when your higher calling unfolds, you are fully equipped to handle both success and responsibility without being shaken. Another dimension of faith stretching involves increased responsibility and challenges in areas of your life where you are least prepared. These moments may test your emotional endurance, your ability to lead, or your spiritual discernment. Perhaps you are called to make decisions that impact others, or to step into a leadership role where the stakes are higher than anything you have experienced before. In such situations, your faith must rise to meet the challenge. It is a refining process. Like a weightlifter whose muscles grow only by lifting heavier weights, your spiritual and emotional capacity expands only when you are called to trust God in increasingly significant ways. Faith stretching also teaches you dependence on God rather than yourself. One of the traps many people fall into is relying too heavily on their intellect, talents, or experience. Stepping into a higher calling requires humility and a total reliance on God's guidance. The stretching process often removes familiar supports or challenges self-reliance, prompting you to trust in divine wisdom, provision, and timing. This is essential because a higher calling demands alignment with God's will and not merely human effort. As your faith grows stronger through these experiences, you become more confident in acting on God's leading, even when the natural circumstances seem impossible. During this process, you may also encounter moments of spiritual breakthrough. As your faith is stretched, you begin to see God move in miraculous ways. These are signs that your trust in Him is producing results and that the higher calling is real. Every obstacle you overcome, every risk you take by trusting Him, strengthens your faith and prepares you for the next stage of your journey. The stretching is cumulative. With each step of faith, you are becoming more capable of handling the demands and responsibilities of the calling that awaits you. It is important to recognize that faith stretching is a lifelong process. Even as you step into a higher calling, there will always be new levels of faith to embrace. God's purposes are infinitely greater than our understanding, and each stage of faith prepares you for the next. The stretching cultivates perseverance, maturity, wisdom, and spiritual discernment, all of which are indispensable for fulfilling the destiny God has prepared for you. In essence, the stretching of your faith is a clear indicator that you are being prepared for something far beyond your current scope. It is evidence that God sees potential in you, that He is equipping you for a higher calling, and that He is shaping you to impact lives, communities, and even generations. Rather than resist or fear the stretching, embrace it with trust and expectation, knowing that every challenge, delay, and test is a deliberate step in your preparation for God's greater plan. The third sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is the appearance of divine connections in your life. These are not merely coincidences or chance encounters. They are strategically orchestrated relationships, opportunities, and alignments that God places in your path to prepare you for the calling He has designed specifically for you. Divine connections often manifest in subtle ways at first, but over time, it becomes clear that the people, circumstances, and opportunities entering your life are part of a larger plan. Recognizing and embracing these connections is crucial, because they are a key mechanism through which God equips, mentors, and positions you for the impact you are destined to make. Our divine connections often appear when you least expect them. You may meet someone whose wisdom, insight, or influence plays a pivotal role in your journey, even if at the moment it seems ordinary. While these individuals may be mentors, collaborators, or supporters who guide you through critical stages of growth, they may also serve as mirrors, helping you recognize your own strengths, weaknesses, and potential. God often uses relationships to shape character, sharpen skills, and provide encouragement during times of testing. What may appear as a casual meeting or chance interaction is often a divine appointment designed to move you closer to your higher calling. A key aspect of divine connections is timing. They rarely happen too early or too late. They appear precisely when you are ready to receive the guidance, support, or resources needed to move forward. This timing is evidence of God's hand orchestrating your journey. For example, you might find yourself in a situation where you need a specific skill, advice, or insight, and suddenly the right person appears to provide exactly what is necessary. These connections often feel serendipitous, but they are divine in nature, designed to align with your purpose and propel you toward your calling. Recognizing and acting upon these timely opportunities requires attentiveness, openness, and a willingness to engage with those God places in your life. Divine connections also stretch your perspective. Often, the people God brings into your life challenge you to think bigger, act differently, or approach situations in ways that expand your understanding. They may push you out of comfort zones, confront limiting beliefs, or inspire you to pursue opportunities that once felt unattainable. These relationships are instrumental in shaping your mindset and preparing you for the higher calling that requires vision, courage, and strategic thinking. Without these divine connections, it would be difficult to grow beyond the limitations of your own understanding and experience. Another important characteristic of divine connections is mutual purpose. The people God brings into your life are often connected to your calling in specific ways. Their influence is not random. It serves a purpose in equipping you for the role you are meant to play. Similarly, your presence in their lives may also serve a higher purpose. God often aligns individuals whose combined efforts will accomplish something greater than they could achieve alone. Recognizing this interconnectedness allows you to approach relationships with intentionality, gratitude, and a sense of responsibility to both receive guidance and contribute positively to the journey of others. Our divine connections also come with confirmation and clarity. Through these relationships, God often confirms the direction He is leading you. Advice, encouragement, or opportunities provided by these connections can reinforce your understanding of the calling before you. When several key connections align to point in the same direction, it is a powerful confirmation that you are on the right path. Learning to discern and trust these confirmations is critical to moving forward. With confidence, even when the natural circumstances may seem uncertain or challenging, it is important to understand that divine connections are not always comfortable or easy. They may challenge your preconceptions, stretch your patience, or require sacrifice. However, the friction and growth that come through these relationships are essential in preparing you for a higher calling. The people, experiences, and opportunities God places in your path are designed to refine your character, expand your capabilities, and deepen your faith. Ultimately, divine connections are a powerful sign that you are stepping into a higher calling. They indicate that God is positioning you strategically, surrounding you with the people, guidance, and opportunities necessary to fulfill your destiny. By recognizing, embracing, and actively engaging with these connections, you are participating in God's plan and preparing yourself to step fully into the purpose He has for your life. Ignoring or overlooking these divine appointments can delay your progress, but when approached with faith and discernment, they become catalysts that accelerate your journey toward your higher calling. The fourth sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is the unmistakable alignment of your gifts, passions, and opportunities. This alignment is a divine indicator that God is preparing you for a purpose far greater than what you have experienced so far. When your natural talents, spiritual gifts, and personal passions begin to converge with opportunities around you, it is not a coincidence. It is a sign that you are being positioned for a higher calling. This alignment often brings a sense of clarity, purpose, and fulfillment that you may not have experienced before. And it signals that you are moving into the realm of destiny that God has prepared specifically for you. At the heart of this alignment is the realization that the skills and abilities you have developed over time were not given to you randomly. Every experience, every challenge, and every moment of training or practice contributes to preparing you for this specific calling. For example, the patience you cultivated through past trials, the leadership skills you honed in your career or community, or the empathy you developed through personal struggles. All these aspects of your character and abilities begin to intersect in ways that allow you to serve a greater purpose. The alignment occurs when your God-given gifts meet the exact moment and context where they are needed most. But this convergence also involves your passions, the things that ignite your heart and give you energy. Often God's calling resonates with what deeply moves you, what excites you, and what you feel compelled to pursue, even when it requires effort, sacrifice, or courage. When your passions align with your gifts, the work you do no longer feels like a burden. It becomes a calling that energizes and sustains you. But this alignment is a powerful indicator that you are walking in God's design, because it brings both fulfillment and effectiveness. You are naturally drawn to the work, and God equips you with the abilities to succeed in it. Opportunities often appear in harmony with this alignment. As you cultivate your gifts and pursue your passions, doors begin to open that match your unique combination of skills and interests. These opportunities may take various forms, such as invitations to lead, teach, create, or serve in ways that magnify your influence. The timing and nature of these opportunities are rarely coincidental. They are strategically placed by God to allow you to step into a higher calling. When you begin to notice that opportunities consistently match your talents and aspirations, it is a clear signal that you are moving in the right direction and that God is orchestrating your journey toward destiny. Another important aspect of this alignment is that it often comes with clarity of purpose. Whereas in the past you may have felt uncertain or confused about your path, the alignment of gifts, passions, and opportunities provides a sense of direction that is unmistakable. You start to see patterns in your life, connections between past experiences, and a clear path forward. This clarity is a sign that God is removing distractions and focusing your attention on the work He has called you to do. It is a confirmation that your life is moving toward meaningful impact, and that your calling is both authentic and sustainable. The alignment also inspires confidence and boldness. When your gifts, passions, and opportunities are working together, you are equipped to step into challenges with assurance. You begin to act in ways that reflect not only your competence but also your understanding that God has prepared you for this moment. This confidence is not rooted in arrogance but in faith, a faith that acknowledges God's orchestration of your life and empowers you to pursue your higher calling with courage. It is also important to recognize that alignment does not eliminate challenges. Even when gifts, passions, and opportunities converge, there will be obstacles, resistance, and moments of doubt. However, this alignment equips you to navigate these challenges with resilience and purpose. It provides the tools, energy, and motivation needed to persevere and thrive despite difficulties. God's design ensures that when your life is aligned in this way, you are capable of stepping into a higher calling and making a significant impact in the lives of others. Ultimately, the alignment of your gifts, passions, and opportunities is a divine signal that you are moving into a higher calling. It is an invitation to step boldly into the work you were created to do, to embrace the purpose that brings fulfillment, and to trust that God has strategically positioned you for influence, growth, and impact. Recognizing and acting on this alignment is essential because it allows you to move forward with confidence, clarity, and faith, fully equipped to fulfill the destiny God has prepared for your life. The fifth sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is the presence of resistance and tests in your life. This is one of the most significant indicators that God is preparing you for a role that requires faith, perseverance, and spiritual maturity. Resistance and tests often feel uncomfortable, discouraging, and even unfair, but they are intentional mechanisms that shape your character and equip you for greater responsibility. They are not signs that you are failing or on the wrong path. Rather, they are confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. Every person who has stepped into a higher calling has faced opposition, challenges, and trials, and these moments are crucial for growth and preparation. Resistance often comes in many forms. It may be external, through difficult circumstances, skeptical or critical people, societal pressures, or unexpected setbacks. It may also be internal, arising from fear, self-doubt, or uncertainty about your abilities and purpose. Both types of resistance serve the same purpose: to stretch you beyond your comfort zone and force reliance on God's strength rather than your own. When you encounter opposition, it is a natural reaction to want to retreat, to seek easier paths, or to question your calling. However, those who recognize resistance as a sign of growth understand that it is a necessary part of the journey toward a higher purpose. Tests, on the other hand, often reveal the depth of your faith and commitment. They examine your perseverance, patience, integrity, and willingness to trust God even when circumstances seem contrary. The higher the calling, the more rigorous these tests may become, because God must ensure that you are ready to handle the responsibilities that come with greater influence. These tests are designed not to break you, but to prepare you for a level of impact and leadership that could not be sustained without refinement. They cultivate endurance, wisdom, and resilience, all essential qualities for fulfilling a higher calling. One of the most important aspects of resistance and testing is perspective. Those who are stepping into a higher calling Learn to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow, to refine character, and to strengthen faith. The difficult moments provide lessons that success alone cannot teach. They also deepen dependence on God, reminding you that your calling is not achieved by human effort alone, but through alignment with divine guidance and provision. Understanding this perspective transforms trials from discouragement into motivation, from fear into faith, and from frustration into preparation. BR. Resistance also serves to confirm your calling. Often the opposition you face is strongest at the moment, just before a breakthrough. DRW. When your vision and purpose are aligned with God's will, the enemy and even the natural forces of life resist the change you are about to bring. This is a biblical principle reflected in the lives of many who have stepped into greater purposes. Just before a significant breakthrough, opposition rises, testing the faith and commitment of those who are called. Enduring this resistance with patience and faith demonstrates readiness for the higher calling ahead. Another crucial element is that resistance teaches strategic discernment. As challenges arise, you are compelled to evaluate your decisions, priorities, and actions more carefully. You learn to distinguish between distractions and genuine opportunities, between fears that must be faced and risks that are unnecessary. This discernment is essential because higher callings require not only courage and passion, but also wisdom and clarity. By navigating tests and opposition successfully, you develop the judgment necessary to lead effectively and fulfill your purpose without being misled or derailed. It is also important to note that resistance often strengthens your testimony and influence. When you endure challenges and remain faithful to your purpose, your experiences become a source of encouragement, inspiration, and guidance for others. Those who observe your perseverance gain hope, faith, and confidence that they too can overcome obstacles in pursuit of their own calling. In this way, resistance is not just a personal refining tool. It becomes a means to extend your impact and influence beyond yourself. Ultimately, the presence of resistance and tests is a clear indicator that you are stepping into a higher calling. They signify that God sees potential in you, that He is refining your character, and that He is preparing you for responsibilities that require strength, wisdom, and unwavering faith. Rather than fear or avoid these challenges, embrace them as signs of progress and divine preparation. Each test, obstacle, and opposing force is evidence that your life is moving toward greater purpose and impact. By trusting God, persevering through trials, and learning from resistance, you are equipping yourself to step fully into the higher calling that awaits, ready to fulfill the destiny for which you were created. The sixth sign that you are stepping into a higher calling is a sense of peace amidst uncertainty. This may seem paradoxical at first, because stepping into a higher calling often comes with challenges, opposition, and uncharted territory. Yet one of the clearest indicators that God is guiding you toward a higher purpose is the inner peace that accompanies your journey, even when circumstances appear confusing, unstable, or overwhelming. This peace is not the absence of difficulty, but a profound spiritual assurance that you are where you are meant to be, and that God is orchestrating every step of your path. It is the quiet, unwavering confidence that transcends understanding, rooted in faith and trust in God's plan. This sense of peace often begins subtly, as a gentle reassurance in the midst of doubt or fear. You may face situations where logic, reasoning, or conventional wisdom would suggest retreat. Yet there is a calm conviction within you, a voice that says, "Trust me, this is the path." Unlike temporary relief or fleeting comfort, this peace is deep and abiding. It persists even when the future is unclear, when obstacles seem insurmountable, or when the road ahead requires bold steps into the unknown. It is the spiritual confirmation that your higher calling is real, that God's hand is upon you, and that you are moving in alignment with divine purpose. One of the remarkable aspects of this peace is that it transcends fear and anxiety. When stepping into a higher calling, uncertainty is inevitable. You may face financial pressures, relational conflicts, health concerns, or societal opposition. Ordinarily, these circumstances could create stress or despair. However, the peace that comes from God surpasses all natural understanding, allowing you to move forward with confidence and courage despite the unknown. It is not a passive resignation, but an active reliance on God's guidance and promises. A peace that enables you to take decisive action even when the outcome is not yet visible. This peace is closely linked to trust in God's timing. Often those stepping into higher callings encounter delays or periods of waiting. At first, waiting can feel frustrating or discouraging, leading to impatience or doubt. Yet the peace that signifies a higher calling allows you to rest in God's perfect timing, knowing that He is orchestrating every circumstance to prepare you for the role ahead. This trust transforms waiting from a period of inactivity into a season of growth, preparation, and refinement. It reassures you that every experience, challenge, and opportunity is strategically placed for your ultimate purpose. Another important element of this peace is that it provides clarity and discernment. In times of uncertainty, when multiple paths or options seem possible, the sense of divine peace serves as an internal compass. It helps you distinguish between what aligns with God's plan and what might lead you astray. This guidance is often subtle, manifesting as an inner knowing, a quiet conviction, or a sense of rightness that is difficult to articulate but unmistakable in its certainty. By paying attention to this inner peace, you are able to navigate complex decisions with confidence, avoiding unnecessary mistakes and staying aligned with your higher calling. This peace also sustains you through resistance and trials. As you step into a higher calling, opposition is inevitable. Friends or colleagues may misunderstand you, challenges may intensify, and the natural tendency may be to retreat. Yet even in the face of these trials, a higher calling brings a sense of divine assurance that the journey is purposeful. This peace strengthens your resolve, bolsters your faith, and enables you to endure setbacks without losing sight of your ultimate goal. It is a stabilizing force that keeps your focus on the calling rather than the temporary difficulties. Moreover, the sense of peace fosters joy, confidence, and spiritual alignment. When you experience this peace, you are better able to act with love, humility, and wisdom. You can serve effectively, lead with integrity, and make decisions that reflect your calling, rather than fear or external pressures. It aligns your mind, heart, and spirit with God's will, creating harmony within yourself and with others. This inner stability is critical because a higher calling requires not only action and influence, but also the right attitude, character, and spiritual discernment to sustain long-term impact. Ultimately, the sense of peace amidst uncertainty is a divine confirmation that you are stepping into a higher calling. It is evidence that God is present, guiding, and preparing you for the role you are meant to play. This peace allows you to embrace challenges, trust in divine timing, navigate decisions with discernment, and endure opposition with unwavering faith. Recognizing and nurturing this peace is essential for walking boldly into the calling God has designed for your life, knowing that every step, no matter how uncertain it may seem, is part of a purposeful and divinely orchestrated journey. If you want, I can now write a full conclusion that ties all 6 key points together in a powerful, inspirational way, so your speech or guide is complete. Do you want me to do that? In conclusion, stepping into a higher calling is a journey marked by divine signs, spiritual preparation, and intentional growth. From the very beginning, you are invited to notice the stirring in your spirit, a quiet yet persistent whisper that tells you life is calling you to something greater than your present circumstances. This initial awareness is the spark that ignites a journey of purpose, guiding you toward God's plan for your life. As you move forward, your faith is stretched, refined, and expanded, teaching you to rely not on your own strength, but on God's wisdom, provision, and guidance. Every challenge, delay, and test becomes an essential part of your preparation, shaping you into a person capable of handling the responsibilities of a higher calling. Along this journey, divine connections appear, strategically placed in your life to guide, mentor, and equip you. These relationships and opportunities are not random. They are orchestrated to position you in alignment with your gifts, passions, and God-given purpose. As these elements converge, you begin to experience clarity, direction, and confidence, knowing that your skills and passions are being utilized for a greater impact. Yet stepping into a higher calling is never without resistance. Challenges, opposition, and trials arise to test your perseverance, refine your character, and deepen your faith. These obstacles are not deterrents. They are confirmation that you are on the right path, moving closer to the purpose God has designed for your life. Ultimately, the hallmark of a higher calling is the sense of peace amidst uncertainty. Even when circumstances seem unclear or the future appears uncertain, there is a deep, abiding assurance that you are where you are meant to be. This peace strengthens you, sustains you, and empowers you to act with confidence, faith, and clarity. It aligns your heart, mind, and spirit with God's will, providing the courage to embrace challenges, the wisdom to make the right decisions, and the resilience to endure opposition. Bear each of these signs: the stirring in your spirit, the stretching of your faith, the appearance of divine connections, the alignment of gifts and passions, the resistance you face, and the peace that sustains you, serves as a roadmap for stepping into your higher calling. They remind you that your journey is intentional, divinely orchestrated, and designed to leave a lasting impact beyond yourself. As you recognize and respond to these signs with faith, courage, and obedience, you position yourself to fulfill the purpose God has uniquely prepared for your life. Stepping into a higher calling is not merely about achievement or success. It is about becoming the person God created you to be and allowing your life to influence others for generations. Embrace the journey. Trust the process and move forward with confidence, knowing that every step, every challenge, and every moment of preparation is guiding you toward the extraordinary destiny God has prepared. Your higher calling is not just a possibility. It is your divine inheritance, and the signs are all around you, inviting you to step boldly into the life you were created to lead.